In just 10 minutes, get the most powerful insights from the 4-hour conversation between Andrew Huberman and Pavel Tsatsouline. Learn how to build strength, endurance, and flexibility smarter, not harder. Pavel shares game-changing training methods that challenge common fitness myths. So stick around, because these tips could transform the way you train forever. Here are the key takeaways from the podcast. Takeaway 1. Strength is the foundation. Strength is the base for all other fitness qualities, including endurance, power, speed, and flexibility. Without a foundation of strength, it is difficult to excel in any sport or physical activity. Pavel calls strength the mother of all fitness qualities because having more of it makes everything else easier. For example, even in endurance sports like marathon running and cycling, adding strength training improves race performance. Studies show that when endurance athletes do heavy low-rep strength training, they can run or cycle faster with less effort. Their muscles become more efficient, allowing them to generate more power while using less energy. This means they can go farther and faster before getting tired. What do you think? Should endurance athletes spend more time on strength training? Let us know in the comments. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. Avoid training to failure. Many people believe that pushing themselves to the absolute limit in every workout is the best way to get stronger. Pavel disagrees. Training to failure can weaken your nervous system over time, leading to burnout, injuries, and slower progress. When you train to failure often, your nervous system gets used to failing. Instead of training your body to succeed under heavy loads, you are teaching it to give up. This is why Pavel advises stopping your set when you feel you have 1 or 2 good reps left. This keeps your nervous system fresh and allows you to recover faster. For example, if you attempt a heavy deadlift and fail repeatedly, your body starts learning to fail. Instead, if you stop before reaching that point, you will maintain better form and progress more consistently over time. This is why top powerlifters rarely lift their maximum weight in training. They save their all-out efforts for competition. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3. Use fewer exercises but master them. You do not need to do dozens of different exercises to get strong. Pavel recommends focusing on a small number of key movements that provide maximum benefits. Instead of jumping from one exercise to another, it is better to master a few and keep improving them. For example, the deadlift, squat, and bench press cover almost everything you need for total body strength. If you prefer kettlebells, swings, presses, and goblet squats are great options. Even with bodyweight training, focusing on pull-ups, dips, and pistol squats can build tremendous strength. The goal is to pick exercises that give you the most bang for your buck. If an exercise only works one small muscle, like biceps curls, it is less useful than an exercise like pull-ups, which build arm, back, and grip strength all at once. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. Strength is a skill. Lifting weights is not just about building muscle. It is about training your nervous system to become more efficient. That is why technique and frequent practice matter just as much as raw effort. Strength is a skill, just like playing the piano or shooting a basketball. The more often you practice with good technique, the better your body becomes at lifting heavier weights with less effort. For example, elite powerlifters do not just rely on brute force. They focus on perfecting their movements so that their muscles work together as efficiently as possible. This allows them to lift more weight without wasting energy. Imagine trying to punch a heavy bag with no technique. You might hit it hard, but your power will be scattered. Now imagine a trained boxer hitting the same bag. They generate more power with less effort because they know how to use their whole body efficiently. Strength training works the same way. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5. Train more often but with less intensity. Pavel is a big fan of the grease the groove method, where you practice strength movements frequently but never to exhaustion. Instead of doing one long workout until failure, you do multiple short sets throughout the day. This allows your nervous system to get better at the movement without getting worn out. For example, if you want to get better at pull-ups, instead of doing one session where you max out and hit failure, you could do a few pull-ups every couple of hours. If your maximum is 10 pull-ups, you might do sets of 4 or 5 several times a day. Over time, this builds strength and endurance without draining your energy. This method works because you are training your body to be efficient rather than exhausting yourself. It is the same way musicians practice. They do not play until their fingers hurt. They stop before they reach the point of fatigue so they can practice again later. Takeaway 6. Flexibility and strength go together. Many people think of flexibility as just stretching, but true flexibility comes from having strong muscles that can move through a full range of motion. Strength training done correctly improves flexibility. For example, a deep squat requires flexibility in the hips and ankles, but it also requires strength to control the movement. If you only stretch without building strength, you may become flexible but not stable, which can lead to injuries. Instead of relying on static stretching, Pavel recommends building flexibility through exercises like deep squats, lunges, and overhead presses. A strong, flexible body moves better and is less likely to get injured. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. Isometric training builds strength without wear and tear. Isometric training, where you hold a position under tension, is a powerful way to get stronger without damaging muscles or joints. It teaches your body how to generate force without excessive movement, which is useful for injury prevention. For example, instead of doing tons of squats, try holding a squat position for 30 seconds. This strengthens your muscles and teaches your body to maintain tension without overuse injuries. Many martial artists and gymnasts use isometric holds to build strength in their stances and improve control. This type of training is also great for beginners or those recovering from injuries because it does not put as much stress on the joints. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. Endurance training should delay fatigue, not tolerate it. Traditional endurance training often focuses on pushing through discomfort, but Pavel recommends a smarter approach. Train in a way that postpones fatigue rather than just enduring it. For example, instead of exhausting yourself with long-distance running, do short, high-intensity bursts like kettlebell swings or hill sprints. This improves endurance by training your muscles to be more efficient with energy rather than just surviving the pain. This method allows you to build endurance without wearing yourself down too quickly. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. Recovery is just as important as training. Most people focus on their workouts but ignore what they do between sets and after training. Pavel emphasizes that recovery is just as important as the workout itself. For example, between sets of squats, do not sit slouched over with poor posture. Standing or walking keeps your posture strong and helps your body stay activated. Also, sleeping well, eating enough protein, and managing stress all contribute to recovery. Skipping proper recovery is like trying to drive a car without enough fuel. Your performance will suffer, and you will feel more fatigued over time. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. Controlling arousal is key to performance. Many athletes fail under pressure because they get too excited and lose control. Pavel talks about disinhibition, which means reducing unnecessary tension so you can stay calm and powerful. For example, in powerlifting, some lifters scream and get hyped up before a big lift. Others stay completely calm and focused. While getting psyched up might help for a short burst of energy, it can also burn you out quickly. The strongest lifters know how to turn their strength on and off like a switch. Learning to control excitement and nervousness is a skill that can improve performance in sports, business, and life. Here is a brief introduction about Pavel Tsatsouline. Pavel Tsatsouline is a world-renowned strength and conditioning coach, former military special forces training instructor, author, and founder of StrongFirst, an online school focused on low-tech, high-concept training to build strength for men and women of all fitness levels. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.